Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I hope my voice is audible to you. I can see here my picture, but I think voice is known to you. It is audible. And if it is audible, you can put it to me. Yes, sir, it is audible. Fine. So let's get back to our. Yeah, my voice is audible. Mac Chabra has given me the response, a quick one. Thank you. And now over to the chapter without, delaying in anything like that. So we can just immediately start this one. Uh, We were, I think, on page number 77, if I'm not mistaken. Have you got the book? Please check it out. Page number 77. The earlier one was what we had. It was on page number 76, and Maddie was under a kind of spell or the thought that what she must do. And they had actually gone to that place and had found out that girl was not there, and then she finally made up her mind that she must you know in anything wrong actually takes place over there, then she would not back up, because she had experienced this with Vanda. In case of Vanda, how she suffered, and therefore she felt that never onwards this kind of thing must happen. That was exactly we had seen. And now then page number 77, if we see, so right from the first paragraph we can just check it out. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy, and they were writing a letter. This is something new there in the story, what we can say, a new development in the story. The new important episode of the story is this. The earlier one we already had. There is a background of the girls teasing this Vanda, then afterwards making fun something about 100 dresses, then girls competition, boys competition. The results were declared afterwards. Something like came to know it was Vanda who was so artistic in her designs. After that, Vanda's father's letter was read out, and all these things actually we had seen. And now comes the time here. eh, After that, actually, both of them, Maddie and Peggy, had made up their mind to go to the place, and they wanted to just go personally at that place, Bojin's Height, and wanted to apologize to Vanda, but it could not take place. And next is now the new development in the story that we understand is this one. They are now planning to write a letter. So I'm just reading out. Please follow me. You also have the book with you. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy, and they were writing a letter to Vanda Petronsky. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Vanda she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were, and they asked her if she liked where she was living. And they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. And they had meant to say that they were sorry, but it ended up, see, you can underline this line. They had meant to say because they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter, the kind they would have written to any good friend, and they signed it with lots of X's for love. That is Christmas, love for Christmas. And they mailed the letter to Bojin's Heights, writing, please forward on the envelope. Generally, we are not in the custom of writing on the envelope other than it is necessary. We write, suppose you are sending it by speed post, we write speed post. Here there is something written, maybe in their country it may be a common custom that they might be writing when it may be a bit urgent. I remember once my father was sending one parcel from my native place to somebody else. So there he had written glass material, handle with care. So it's an instruction. This instruction can be useful to the one who is handling, because one who handles it, he has only the job to do. He doesn't have to care what is there inside, that particular parcel. Now these girls have written on the top, okay, please forward this envelope, please forward. So on top, when they wrote it down, their intention was to tell it's important, it's most important one, and let it go to um, uh, the person whom they meant it for. Huh. Now, why they were writing a letter? First question actually must come to our mind. They were writing this letter because they already had made an effort to meet Vanda and tell her personally that it was not their intention to trouble. It was not their wrong intention instead. But it so happened that just out of fun, it turned out to be too much of trouble for Vanda. They wanted to convey it by themselves, and for that they had made a tour. I mean to say, they walked up to the place, Bojan's height, and they found that everything over there seemed to be lifeless, and there was no sign of life. One sentence has also been used there. So by that they came to know it was not possible by that particular manner, by that technique. It was not possible. So they tried to find out some other way to express their concern, to express their guilty thoughts to Vanda, and telling her that they were actually very sorry about the incident. Now, important point. Of course, they started writing the letter, but they did not write something about sorry, and they wrote something else. Now, why they must have written it? I want some answers from you. If you are present over here, I see only 26 students are watching. 73 there are there in Google Classroom, and only 28, I suppose, 27 at this moment are watching. So it is something which you are doing a disservice to yourself. And as I always tell you people, kindly listen to your parents, elderly people, and your teachers, because what they guide you, it is something very crucial for you. And you already remember what happened yesterday. Yesterday's incident in Rawatbhata is something an eye opener for all of us, because we disobey, because we do not trust our elderly people. Something something beyond that we act, and then it results to something wrong. Yeah, I was expecting some answer from you, and I said, why instead of saying sorry, they did not write it and they wrote all everything else? Can you please put some answer over here? They, of course, it is not directly written over, and that's what actually a good reader must try to find out. See what the writer is trying to convey through the incidents, the dialogues, the episode involved in the story. I'm still waiting for an answer. If I'm to get an answer, yeah, because of hesitation. Yes, I got one answer. Arushi Singh has given me the answer. Yes, it is correct. That is hesitation of saying sorry. So it is correct, Arushi. Any other answer if I'm to get? Yes, I got one more answer. It was hard for them to accept their wrong deeds. This is very correct, and this answer has come from Shobhan Gadai. And Ojasvi says, because sorry is not sufficient to express their feelings. Yeah, and maybe because it was just sorry, this word would not have been sufficient, and therefore they might be thinking what to write. But ultimately, they dropped that word itself. So that is maybe because of hesitation, and maybe they might have felt a little ashamed of their deeds, and that's why they were not able to write it down over there. I also got answer from Akansha because of guiltiness, that is guilty conscience. And Kritika says he, as they felt that she is her friend and she will forgive her. I got also answer from Yamini, Tanishk, and Hitesh, and Mridul. And hesitation is one common thing that I notice over here. And Yamini says they did not have, actually, it should not be had. They did not have, first form of verb, the courage of saying sorry. Yes, I agree with all of you. All your points, I feel they are relevant. Suppose a question is asked to you, why these girls were not able to, end up the letter the way they wanted. Then you can just write it down, these points of yours. One, you can say out of hesitation. One is the guilty conscience. One is they didn't gather the courage to say or to even use the word sorry, because it was probably not there in their courage to express such kind of thing. Because see, it is really so tough to say sorry to someone, and honest sorry to say somebody. This one is really so tough. It is only very thoughtful people, very heightened people. I mean to say, in their mind and all, for their wrong, if they make a mistake, they do not hesitate to say sorry. But in general, like we come to know the age of these two there in the story. They were just teenagers, and therefore saying sorry is a part of their ego, as if they are sacrificing their part of ego, and they did not want to do, and that is why they must have felt saying sorry is beyond their capacity, and they ended up later writing something. Acha. Why they wrote letter? Because they were, as they could not meet Vanda, so their guilty feeling always remained with them. Somewhere, your emotions must get expressed. There is one word called VENT, vent. Generally, the psychologists and all, they say you must give vent to your emotion. For example, you got too much of sorrow, too much of gloom, you are saddened for some reason, and you felt like crying, but you could not. But that gives you, some medical issues. So it's better you cry out, because that is very common to human being. It's very natural. See, for situations when there is something for laughter, we must laugh. When there is some reason for being, sorry, we must feel sorry about it. This is being very, very natural, and this is being very, very human. So they, of course, had this guilty conscience, and they somewhere wanted to give vent to their emotion. They could not meet Vanda, and that is why ultimately they chose, okay, they must write a letter. They might have thought, because of course they had made a visit to the place of Vanda, so they might have thought it's possible that they might have gone for some time, or they might come back for some reason, maybe for their things or some other letters. So when they write a letter, it might reach them. That is why they were writing this letter. I am still getting those answer. I am happy for all of you are still uh, in touch with me, but I am really so sorry, for those people who are not attending this class. It is question with most classes actually. So I request you all, those who are watching, please put to them and to their parents as notice that these classes are going to be the only classes, isn't it, in case there are no physical classes. So please be careful about all this. So I'm getting these answers from, I'll just read out your names. Mridul, I had written, read out that name. Then uh, Rayona, Mihika, Arushi, and here some different name is there. Xenox Vexi. I think this is not correct. You put your real name, Hardik Garg, and they all felt they were very sad. Maybe one of the reasons. Okay, and some of you mentioned again the part of their ego. So ego is correct instead of hesitation. Here it is. Arushi Singh is mentioning, yeah, whether ego is correct in place of hesitation. Well, when I'm explaining this one to you, you for understanding, you keep this word ego for understanding. This is actually there. But when you're writing it in the examination, you definitely write hesitation. Good question I was put over here. So nice. Okay, because from the point of view of examination, when you're writing, so you should be very selective about your vocabulary, because each word of your conveys a particular meaning. Yeah, when you write something like ego, then there might be a clash. Then why did they go to the Bojin side? They should not have gone, because their ego was there. So I think then a middle word, or a suitable word that we can choose is, okay, we can go for saying hesitation. Yeah, Xanox is saying he is, I am very, sir, I am very sad. Said, sir, I am very sad. What is the problem with Xanox? Vexi, what is your problem? I don't know. Please, sir, solve my problem. Please put your problem to me personally on my, WhatsApp number, because it's a public forum, and therein, if you are putting your problem, I think it will put you in a bigger problem. So, whatever is your issue, you can put to any of your teachers personally, and if you feel like writing it to me, you can. Okay. Now, going ahead with the paragraph, here it is written: days passed, and there was no answer, but the letter did not come back. So maybe Vanda had received it. It is their presumption. It is their assumption. It is their opinion that the letter must have gone in the hands of Vanda, but it was probably not so. Perhaps she was not hurt and angry, and she was not going to answer. You could not blame her. Yeah, that is, it is their opinion. That is opinion of Peggy and Maddie. They feel if they have not got any, reply of the letter, so it is also possible that she might have felt hurt, or she might have got angry about it, and that is why she must not have given any response. It happens. Like you are angry about something or somebody, you choose silence instead of expressing yourself. This is one way of showing your disapproval for certain things. So maybe it was their opinion, it must have happened like this and that, but in their letter what they wrote in general, issues they had written down. Issues, I mean to say, it's better thing that they wrote down. It was all good, and they were quite so happy that Vanda had won the position there in the competition. She was the winner of the competition and all that. Weeks went by and still Wanda did not answer. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business, and Maddie put herself to sleep at night, making speeches about Wanda, defending her from great crowds of girls who were trying to tease her with. If you can underline this point of Wanda, where we come to know, Wanda put herself to sleep at night, making speeches. From here, more important, making speeches about Wanda, defending her from great crowds of girls who were trying to tease her with. About Maddie's salient feature in a character that we tried to understand earlier too, this one point was very peculiar, that she felt very sorry about the whole affair, the whole activity that took place about troubling Vanda Petronsky, and she was not at all in favor of it. Though she had become a party in this, I mean to say, a negative act, but her heart was not involved doing so. Anyways, but things happened, and she was a partner in that crime. If it is a kind of crime we consider, moral crime if we consider, then it's something that wrong she had already done, and her guilty conscience was not actually giving her sound sleep. Now what you understand here, she was getting dreams. She was, of course, see, over the period of time, certain things we tend to forget. Any particular sorrow that is tremendous for us at this moment, in the days to come there would be other memories to pile up, and this will go faded. So this will not trouble us more. Similarly, earlier, Maddie would not get enough of sleep. Now she has started getting sleep, but she was getting dreams, and the dreams of the kind, because her mind was somewhere ruffled, it was agitated, it was not calm. So she used to get the sleep here, but with some dreams, or wherein she is making speeches, talking to herself, kind of thing, making speeches wherein she is trying to defend Wanda from the crowd of girls. So she might be imagining at present also, this girl, Wanda Petronsky, must be facing a lot of problems, and I should be there now, standing by her and helping her out. Why Maddie is why Maddie is a girl? Okay, you mean to say ki nowhere is it mentioned? Because see, there is a competition meant for girls, wherein Peggy and Maddie, both of them had participated, and that is of drawing. There was another competition told about boys, and it was of making some instrument or something else. It was for them. For girls, it was so. So Maddie, of course, was there in the group of Peggy. That's why we can just make it out. Her gender is, she must be a girl. Fine. So weeks was spent like that. Then now inverted commas we are getting. We'll try to understand this. How many dresses have you got? And before Wanda could press her lips together in a tight line, the way she did before answering, Maddie would cry out, "Stop!" Then everybody would feel ashamed the way she used to feel. Now, this is of course not the real episode of the story. It is, you can say, the you can say, smaller events, or the smaller scenes like you see in the movie. It is one of such things. This is the troubled mind of Maddie, and in her troubled thoughts, she tries to protect Wanda, and that is where this conversation. Because otherwise, Vanda is not at all present over there in the scene. So how can there be a direct conversation? It is not possible. But because its thoughts are there, and her thoughts are, very much agitated thoughts. So her mind is not peaceful, and that is why when she gets this kind of dreams, she gets a kind, as if she is making such speeches to those people who are trying to bully Vanda Petronsky, and there this girl tries to protect Vanda Petronsky. That is why she might be saying, "Don't trouble us, stop it out over there." Now it was Christmas time, and there was snow on the ground. Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. On the last day of school before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. See, many days has had, of course, already gone, and now um, Peggy had nearly forgotten about the whole episode of writing letter, whether it has reached Vanda Petronsky or not. But Maddie was, of course, there, still was unable to come out of that trauma, wherein she was, guilty of something wrong that she had done to an innocent girl who was instead found to be very, very intelligent and at the same time very artistic in her activities. Now, one more turn in the story is going to appear. Um, Teacher had received a letter, and now she would be probably reading this letter. Before that, what we come to know, this is Christmas time. As we celebrate, Diwali in our country, this is the country's festival, isn't it? And everyone is involved in it. Everybody comes under the spell of the decoration or the preparations of Diwali, that we are part of. In Western country and in Christian culture, it is Christmas. That is the equally, significant event of theirs, and it was that time. Teacher now had received the letter. I am over to page number 78 on top. Now here, teacher says something and the letter comes. You remember Vanda Petronsky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest? This is, exactly from the teacher's, mouth it has come. The teacher is speaking up those words, and before she reads out, she, prepares that background for telling her important thing. She says, you remember Vanda Petronsky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest? Well, she has written to me. Actually, written me is used, but I suppose in general, the most correct one is written to me. She has written to me, and I am glad to know where she lives because now I can send her medal. I want to read her letter to you. The class sat up with a sudden interest and listened intently. Intently, that is, with rapt attention, with complete attention. Now, pay attention. I'm explaining this important part to you. Teacher wanted to convey this to everyone because the teacher might already know it is something about this girl Vanda, who was a very talented girl, and she was sadly bullied in her class, and she was sorry about it, and that is why she wanted to convey to everyone that this is something wrong, and we should not have behaved like that. Now, for this girl leaving the school, many days have gone. I'll just read your chats just after some time. I'm explaining. Just wait for some time. And please don't put your mutual chats. I'll explain to you. Ultimately, now it is the time for the teacher. She got an opportunity to teach a lesson or to, make her children a little serious about certain issue. So what that, particular thing is there, eh, she tells, there was a girl in her class who was very so intelligent and very so skilled girl who has left her, and I got a letter from her and I got her address. Good that I got the address. Now I can send, her medal. Teacher thought from her duty point of view, because the teachers have their duties to perform. They have to keep the records whether the things in the name of particular students they were to be given and whether they are ultimately given or not. So these things, something very general, all the teachers do face. So she, of course, thought from that particular point of view. But now you imagine the moment this news might have come into the classroom. Okay, I hear see Rupali ki Dali sir, and I am corona positive. Please help me. I am Rupali ki Dadi. I am corona positive. Please help me. Yeah, I'll just discuss about this a little after the class. And please don't worry. If there is anything for us to help you out, you can. And you can just find out my number there from the group. And in case you feel like putting it to me, you can. But of course, it is deleted. So please write something which is only relevant to us, I'm just writing it down here for your chat box, and let it be official. So, and be careful about all these things. Okay, now next, coming on to this point, I was trying to explain it to you. Okay, these girls, Peggy and Maddie, the moment they might have heard, now there is a letter from Vanda. So they, what they might have thought, if the first thought they might have got it is, कि Vanda must have got their letter which they had written, and secondly, कि this uh, letter must be a message for them. And next is, कि they are consoled probably, कि now there is a response. But at the same time, you don't know, there can be some agitated thought, and it is also possible that कि, they might have a kind of fear in their mind. She might have written a kind of letter wherein she might put that blame on this girl, something like that. So now the class is very much ready to listen to the the words that Vanda Petronsky might have written. I am just reading out this letter. After this letter, if any explanation is there, I'll give it to you, and then we'll put an end to this class. The letter says, कि, hmm, this is, dear Miss Mason, how are you? And room 13. So room 13 belongs to the class wherein Vanda Petronsky was a student. Please tell the girls if they can keep those 100 dresses, because in my new house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. This line, I have 100 dresses and all kept in the closet and all lined up. This, earlier also she used to say, when all the girls from the class would put her a question, how many dresses you have, so that kind of answer she used to give. So like that, again she has written, I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dresses with the red trimming, and her friend Maddie to have the blue one for Christmas. I miss that school, and my new teacher does not equalize with you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Vanda Petronsky. See, this letter again, I feel, is a very important part of this story. The first letter was from father, and father had brought to the notice of the whole school, especially through the teacher to the class, that, that his daughter had been troubled in the class, and his daughter had faced a lot of problem there in the class, and because of that, the girl was not comfortable, and finally, he had to get her daughter out of the school. Now, all those episodes you already know, and this letter, now what would somebody suppose, before we had come to this part of this episode in the story, we had tried to conclude this part by saying, it may be something, Peggy says, she might be a little angry with her, and that is why Vanda must not have given us any reply. And it is quite natural, because we have hurt her, we have troubled her, so we should not do this. Maybe because of this reason, Peggy thought she might be angry, and this is something very much logical that one must understand. Now a letter comes from Vanda Petronsky, for the class teacher, that is their teacher, Miss Mason, and she does not pour out her anger. She does not speak anything wrong about any student in the class, any about any her classmates, and she writes something which we all need to understand. Let us be very affirmative about many things that do take place. Like, uh, you might feel hurt when the teacher in your class might scold you, but do you think, from the point of view of the teacher actually comes in the class to give you the best. What the teacher requires, that healthy environment, that environment of reception from your end. You should be ready as eager, ears. You should be waiting for the teacher's words. This is what the teacher is expecting. And in the meanwhile, if the teacher notices some mischief there in the class, naturally the teacher is going to lose, his or her temper. And in such temper, if the teacher responds in an angry manner, so You will definitely feel hurt about it, but you should not have. Actually, if you put yourself in teacher's shoe, that is, you try to understand teacher's position there, you would be able to empathize with the person, and you may not get angry. You try to understand this girl, Vanda Petronsky, how positively and affirmatively has she put her content. She is not angry with anyone. She has no grudge against anyone. She has put it very nicely. A, I miss my class, and my 100 dresses which are there for the exhibition, I am not going to get them back. She does not know whether she was the winner, because we do not come to know anywhere that she had got the letter of both Peggy and Maddie's, and she came to know that she was the winner. There was no clue about their address at all. Therefore, she just mentions those 100 dresses which are there in room number 13, let them be distributed among all my friends. And I want those special two, classmates of mine. One is Peggy, another one Maddie, and they must get this particular dress. And this detail of the dress, Peggy must get with particular dress, and Maddie must which particular dress she must get. It's already mentioned. I did not repeat it to you. That is for your detail, information. Whenever you are writing any MCQ examination, may be useful. So like that she mentions, and ultimately she says, okay, I have a new class teacher. School is good. I have a new class teacher, but she does not equalize with you, telling, teacher, you had been fabulous. Teacher, you are matchless. Teacher, you are extremely good. So this is something telling that, okay, teacher, your good deeds I do remember. Your concern for me do I remember, and I'm really so thankful to you. And at the end, she says, a Merry Christmas to you and everybody. This is what a better side of one's personality. This is something what good side of one's character one should be able to project. Not project, I mean to say, it should be there, it should be genuine, it should be always there. And that is why we come to know Vanda had this good quality in her, and she exhibited in a letter mentioning that it was really so nice. Well, I'm going to end my class here today, and I'm just reading out some of the conversation that actually took place earlier. Here, okay, presents, presents. So here I had got some answers from Kritika, Akansha, because of guiltiness and all this kind of things, hesitation, all those things. And after that, then I got this one. Uh, said Loif, sir, I am very sad. See, this conversation, I said he is not required over here. And Hardigar, because of hesitation, she didn't say, actually, sorry, not said. Then please, sir, solve my problem. Please, you put your problem to me personally. I can solve this one. And then later on, coming down, Akansha Tripathi, nothing like that. They are not in real life. These all are spam bots. Rayon, it's a YouTube glitch. See, all this conversation. Do you know that we have got the facility? We can block your email ID. We can do so. Please, your login ID, use it for class properly. I presume that if you are the student of this class, and if you are not sending this link to anyone, then you would not resort to any such wrong kind of thing. You just ask a relevant question. Other than this, you should not put any kind of comment over here. And once we block you over here, so afterwards you will not get any chance to get back to the classroom unless we give you the permission. So kindly be careful about all such things. And here I am ending my class. Thank you. Bye bye.